What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I did want to take a look at the Bentley Flying Spur here in Forza Horizon 5. Now I guess this isn't technically going to be a review, but I guess a showcase. I was actually going to have this car in the rare vehicles that I did end up getting, but I was like, you know what? I have to do a separate video on this thing because guys, look how big this car is, bro. Hold on, there we go. Open that door up. Let me go open this one up. But seriously though, when I first saw this car, man, I'm like, yo, the Flying Spurs in this game, I gotta try to get it. This thing was going to be fairly hard to get. I think it took me a few tries. This thing was going to be 20 million, but check out the V12 of this car, bro. Now obviously you can't really see it because that thing is covered there, but the Bentley really is such a crazy looking car, man. At first I kind of thought the beginning of my like wheel there, as you guys can see, I thought it was glitched out, but I don't think it is. I think that's just the way the car looks with the wheels I have on it. But man, this thing is absolutely insane. Now, I probably would guess to say that the Bentley Flying Spur is the type of vehicle that you probably wouldn't drive. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, look at the back seat, bro. You mad chilling, bro. You're most likely going to be chilling back here, having some champagne, telling your driver where you actually want to go. Like, that's the kind of car I feel like this one is. Now, how do I get out? Is that how let me out. Let me out. How do I get out? Oh, there we go. Okay, I got out. Let me go in the front seat real quick, then I'll go drive this thing and talk about it a little bit. But probably going to be the odd car. Now, do let me know in the comments. I'm thinking about doing more showcases like this of the vehicles in the game. I do have a few other ones I had an idea about, like, for example, the Koenigsegg Agera. I absolutely love that car from Hot Pursuit. I was like, yo, this game has that. I did end up getting that car as well. Can I get out? Part of it might be my analog stick, because I think to look down. There we go. I did end up getting out of the car finally. But you know what? Let me go drive this thing here quick, guys. Talk about this a little bit more. I think we all do know the Flying Spur is probably going to be the type of vehicle that not everybody cares about. I mean, the funny part is when I first did end up seeing one of these. Now, keep in mind, I've never seen a Flying Spur in person before. So I don't really know how to judge this car or be like, yo, this car looks pretty big. But check it out, man. Let me go into the photo mode real quick out here. You guys can probably see, like, this car is big, bro. Like, trying to park this thing, it's legit driving like a small bus. It's also going to be a V12. Don't even know how much the Flying Spur weighs. I'd probably say 7,000. I might have to look that up and see if I'm right or not, but that's my guess, though. Probably going away around that, maybe 6,500, 7,000, I'm guessing. So, yeah, this is a big car, bro. Like, look how long it is. Like, it's literally like almost like a gigantic pickup truck, almost like the length of a full-size pickup truck, bro. Look at that. That is insane. Basically a small bus. But even with that, though, when I first got this car, I was looking at it. I was like, wait, this game really has the Flying Spur. Let me get it. Let me drive it. And, well, turns out I got to admit, it's a lot more fun to drive than I thought it was going to be. I did end up driving around a bit. I did a race or two in it. And I'm like, yo, no, this car is actually pretty dope. Cruising around in this car and putting music on, man, is a very cool vibe. Honestly, I really don't know why. And funny part is you can also put like rally tires on it, probably off-road it a bit. But the Bentley really does feel like the kind of car that you jump in and go, all right, where we going, bro? Like you get in the back seat, where we going, right? Take me home or take me somewhere else. That's kind of what this car is. But funny part is, I'd probably drive it, dude. This thing is huge. It's going to be a V12. And funny part is, it moves, bro. Kind of does feel like a boat, too. Like, it kind of feels like you're basically driving a heavy boat. That was one thing I really like about this game, though, is the fact that if you are driving a bigger car, you're gonna know about it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna realize you're not driving a tiny little Ford Focus or something. No. You're driving a very big Bentley. The car is going to feel huge. It is also going to feel fast, which is crazy for how big this car is. I couldn't imagine actually being in a really big V12 like that. The car's super heavy and boom, you're legit flying down the road. Imagine that, bro. And the interior in this car is, well, probably what we expected. Very, very luxurious. Now, this car is probably a tad older. I'm guessing is a Flying Spur. So it's not going to be a brand new 24. I'm sure a lot of the new cars nowadays have the biggest screens we've ever seen ever on them for some reason. They keep getting bigger as time goes on. Might end up seeing like a 40-inch screen in a car one day, which I think is a bit ridiculous. But with all of that being said, though, I think I should probably jump into a race with this car. What is this one? All right, let's go do this race. I'll talk about the car a bit. I'll try to drive, guys. I am probably going to leave it on expert and also no TC, so bear with me if I honestly fail at driving. Let's jump into it, though. I'll drive this car a bit. Now, it is going to be stock. I was looking at some settings on it and trying to do a few tunes. But for some odd reason, I like the way the car feels legit. Right now is a 798. I feel like it's great, at least when it comes to a Super Saloon in this category being A rank. Every time I look at the front wheels, bro, I think it's bugging. It looks so weird how the front piece doesn't have the thingy majigger with my wheels there. But all right, so jumping into the race here with the lovely Bentley, and I have a feeling on expert difficulty driving this big car is going to be something, but this thing is going to be basically a 798, so it's fairly quick. And I would say against most of these cars, I'm probably going to have more weight than all of them, so that should be good. Oh, I gotta remember I gotta brake. I'm just going to rewind backwards there because that was not what I was thinking to do. Funny part is, I got to remember to brake, bro, because some of the other racing games I was playing, you really don't need to do that. You can kind of just, like, glide into the turn. But no, in Forza, bro, you kind of got to have it a little bit more realistic where you kind of need to brake before the corner. Who would have thought, man? But the thing is, and the reason why I did want to do it with this car, I guess to start off the showcase type of videos, is the Flying Spur is, for one, going to be very cool looking. It is also going to be a fairly rare car, so maybe I'll do it based on, like, rare cars that I get and stuff like that, or maybe do it that way, I guess, for a little while, because I feel like there's a lot of rare cars, and this thing is going to be one of them. I did end up so happening to jump into the auction house. I was like, maybe I'll try to get a Flying Spur. I did check it. There was nothing. Checked it a little bit again, then boom, nothing. I was like, all right, let me go try to get some other cars. And I came back to it in like a couple hours. And boom, one happened to pop right up into the auction house, man. Now, this thing was $20 million. Was it worth it? To be honest, I would say if you're into these cars, it probably is. But we all do know a lot of the cars being 20 million in the auction house, like for example the Nissan Z or even a Camry or something. The i30N's also 20 million. So I would say it might depend how much money you have. If you're a collector like I am or going after a lot of the rare cars, then you're probably just hitting the button like approved. I'll take it. I don't care if it's 20 mil, even if the car ain't that good. I'll take it, bro. Gotta see what this thing can do, right? And so far, I think this thing is pretty dang impressive. Is it going to be the best car out there for racing? Well, to be honest, I mean, it depends what you're racing against, bro. Like, if you're going to be racing against some crazy cars or some really fast vehicles, then sure, the Flying Spur probably isn't going to be the best option. But if you're racing against other Super Saloons, I think this car is going to be pretty dang good. It is going to be very big, so keep in mind when you are racing and going around turns, it is basically like racing a big boat. One of the reasons why I was a bit surprised I really like this car a lot is probably down to the fact, guys, I'm going to be real, I haven't really looked at a lot of Bentleys. I don't really know much about them. I've always liked, don't get me wrong, I do like the Continental and stuff like that. I think they're very cool cars, but I haven't looked into too much of them. And I was like, yo, the Flying Spur, that's a pretty dope car. Like, I've heard of these. I've never seen one in person. Even going to Miami as many times I have, I've still have not seen one down there, which is very weird because you'd think this car would be down there. Probably is, just haven't seen one. But I would say, like, the overall design of this Bentley probably is going to be a very beautiful vehicle. And most people would look at it and go, yo, the Flying Spur is pretty dope. But a lot of players are most likely going to look at this car and go, I mean, it's all right, but I probably would get this car and then I most likely wouldn't drive it anymore. I feel like that's how people would feel. And what I mean by that is I feel like players are probably going to look at something like the Bentley, realize for one, this car is going to be very rare in this game. If you do want it, you're probably going to have to pay, unless you do get lucky on it. But if you're not, then you're probably going to have to spend 20 million on it. But if you are going to be into these type of cars, or maybe you want something like a really cool looking Super Saloon that you never see anywhere, you're probably going to turn some heads with this Bentley because it really does look crazy. And people know when looking at it that, yo, that's a big car, bro. That's probably the Flying Spur because this thing is huge. And a lot of people are probably going to notice that, or at least realize that when they're looking at it. But if you're most likely not going to be into some of these rare cars, and maybe spending 20 million might not be the answer for everybody, at least that's kind of one way I was thinking about it. But yo, if you're looking for a crazy looking car, man, that legit drives like a boat, it is going to handle very well. It's all-wheel drive. It has a ton of power. Insanely enough, this car feels very fast for being like a very heavy car, even though it's a V12 and stuff. It is still going to feel very quick, so that does make it really fun and also very entertaining to cruise around these roads with. Do let me know what y'all think about the Bentley Flying Spur in the comments below. What are some of the rare cars you do still want to this day that you're trying to get? Maybe snipe them, maybe go after them. I feel like a lot of players are probably going to be looking for something like this Bentley just to add to their collection. The only issue is some people might not want to spend 20 million on this thing. Do let me know in the comments below if you guys do want to see more of these showcase type of videos. I am planning more of them with a few other cars I do have in mind that were also pretty dang rare. And you probably did see a few of those cars in the rare video I did end up doing, at least the second second one, but I figured I would talk about them in another video. Again, let me know your thoughts on the crazy boat known as the Flying Spur.